Welcome back to the AI Compass. Today's December 18th, 2024. We've got a mountain of AI news to unpack today. We're talking billion-dollar deals, brand new products hitting the market, and even some rumblings about potential hurdles down the road.
Oh, sounds intriguing.
So to navigate this avalanche of information, we structured today's deep dive into three key areas: the business of AI, the products hitting the shelves, and of course the underlying technology driving it all.
Makes sense. A good roadmap is always helpful.
Absolutely. Let's kick things off by jumping right into the business world. And, well, Microsoft is making some serious power plays. They've been snatching up Nvidia's Hopper AI chips.
Hopper chips?
Yeah, the AI chips, they're going out of style, seriously. They've bought up nearly 500,000 of these things.
500,000, wow.
Way more than Meta, Amazon, or Google.
That's a pretty bold statement about their AI ambitions, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely.
Especially considering their close ties with OpenAI and ChatGPT. Training those massive language models requires an insane amount of computing power.
It's mind-boggling, isn't it?
It seems like Microsoft's determined to have the resources they need to stay ahead of the curve.
It's a bit like an arms race at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, kinda.
Everyone's scrambling to get their hands on the most powerful AI chips.
Right. But it's not just about hardware, though, is it? There's a flood of investment pouring into AI companies that are doing all sorts of fascinating things.
Oh, yeah. Like Databricks, for example.
They just secured a cool $500 million in funding, which puts their valuation at an eye-popping $43 billion.
Crazy, yeah.
What I find really interesting about Databricks is that they're not just building another AI model.
Right. They're thinking bigger.
Yeah, they've developed a platform called Lakehouse to make AI and data analytics much more accessible to businesses. Imagine a world where you can effortlessly analyze these gigantic data sets, and extract these really valuable insights without needing an army of data scientists.
That's the kind of power they're putting in the hands of their users.
It really is.
It's like they're trying to democratize AI, which I think is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is. But here's where things get a little interesting. Despite all of this investment and the undeniable excitement around AI, some experts are starting to whisper about the end of the AI gold rush.
The gold rush ending. Doesn't seem possible with all this money pouring in. I think things would just keep accelerating.
Right, but their argument is that just scaling up AI, making these models bigger and bigger, and throwing more data at them, maybe reaching a point of diminishing returns.
Ah, okay. So we might be hitting a bit of a wall.
Yeah, we might be hitting a wall in terms of what we can actually get out of the data that's currently available.
So it's not just about brute force anymore?
No.
Not at all.
Interesting. So what happens then?
Well, this potential slowdown, as strange as it sounds, could create an opportunity for some of the smaller, more agile players to enter the field. Companies that are focused on developing more efficient algorithms, or finding these creative new ways to leverage existing data, might have a real advantage. So it's a reminder that innovation doesn't always come from the biggest players.
Right.
Sometimes it's the scrappy startups that really shake things up.
Yeah. But speaking of big players, have you seen the amount of money going into AI? It's just mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah, it's astronomical.
One report showed that a crazy 42% of all U.S. venture capital investment last year, that's 2023, went to AI companies.
That's a huge piece of the pie.
Investors are putting their money where their mouth is,
Yeah.
They're betting big on the future of AI.
Absolutely. And it's not just venture capitalists either. Even the big tech giants are pumping billions into AI research and development. Take OpenAI as an example. They're projecting to spend like $37.5 billion annually by 2029.
Wow. The resources required to support that level of development is just incredible.
It really is staggering. And to keep up with those expenses, they've actually had to shift away from their original nonprofit model to a for-profit structure. Makes you wonder how that will affect their mission.
Right. And the overall direction of AI development.
Yeah.
It's a question a lot of people are asking. Will the pursuit of profit compromise OpenAI's original goals? Ensuring that AI benefits humanity. It's a debate that's likely to continue as AI becomes increasingly powerful and more woven into our lives.
It's definitely a conversation worth having. But that actually brings us nicely to our next section. The incredible products being developed in the world of AI.
Okay.
After all, this business activity and investment is all about creating real-world applications, solving problems, and making our lives better.
Of course, absolutely. But, as they say, with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Otherwise.
That's where AI safety comes into play. A new report just gave some of the leading AI companies surprisingly low marks for their safety measures.
Really? Even companies like OpenAI and Meta?
Even them.
Wow. So even with all this money and brain power going into AI, safety is still lagging behind. What are the main concerns they highlighted?
Well, for one, the report found that all of the flagship AI models that they examined were vulnerable to something called jailbreaks.
Jailbreaks.
Yeah. Basically, it means they could be tricked into bypassing their safety guardrails and, potentially doing things they weren't supposed to do.
That sounds a little unnerving.
It's like a hacker's dream come true.
Yeah. It's not just about malicious intent, though, right? There's also the concern about AI systems simply making mistakes.
Of course.
Especially as they become more complex and autonomous.
Exactly. The report was pretty scathing, actually. They said that current safety strategies are just not strong enough to guarantee that future AI systems will stay under control.
That is a little concerning, especially as we start to see these systems approach human-level intelligence.
It is. It's a serious concern. So what are companies doing to address these safety worries?
Yeah, are they actually taking steps to improve things?
Some companies are definitely taking a more proactive approach. Trend Micro, for example.
Trend Micro.
Yeah. They're a big player in the cybersecurity world. They've just incorporated a new AI brain into their security tools.
An AI brain? That sounds super sci-fi. What does that even mean?
Essentially, it's an AI system that's been trained on an enormous amount of data. Think 35 years worth of cybersecurity knowledge.
35 years?
Wow. It can analyze threats, respond to attacks, and even predict potential vulnerabilities in a way that humans just couldn't do on their own.
So it's like having a superpowered cybersecurity expert working 24/7.
Exactly. It's just one example of how AI is being used to beef up security measures.
Makes sense.
But AI isn't all about staying safe, is it?
No, of course not.
It's about boosting productivity, too. Get ready for the age of desktop AI assistants.
They're already here.
They're here. It's crazy how much they can do.
You've got Microsoft 365, Copilot, Apple Intelligence, Google Gemini, all vying for our attention.
Imagine the productivity gains. AI assistants that can go through your emails, schedule your meetings, even draft documents for you.
It's pretty remarkable.
It is. But of course, with any new technology, businesses have concerns about security risks.
Of course.
What if these AI assistants accidentally overshare sensitive information?
Right. Or become targets for hackers.
Exactly.
Companies need to think carefully about those risks as they integrate these tools into their workflows.
Absolutely. And while we're on the topic of things companies need to think carefully about, let's talk about the UK's proposed changes to copyright law.
Yeah, this one's a bit of a head-scratcher. They're suggesting that AI companies should be allowed to train their models on copyrighted content with an opt-out scheme for creators.
It's caused quite a stir.
Has it?
Definitely. Supporters argue it will unlock innovation,
Right.
really boost the UK's AI industry.
Okay.
But creators, they're worried about losing control of their work and potentially missing out on fair compensation.
It's a tough one for sure. How do we balance AI progress with the rights of creators? Every new development in AI seems to bring a whole new set of challenges.
It definitely keeps things interesting. But in the midst of all this legal back and forth, there are companies making some bold moves to reshape the AI productivity landscape.
Oh.
Take Grammarly, for example.
Grammarly.
Yeah. They're known for their AI-powered writing assistant. But they've just acquired the productivity platform Coda.
This one caught my eye, too. It seems like Grammarly has bigger ambitions than just helping people write better emails.
Oh, for sure. They're aiming to become a one-stop shop for AI-powered productivity. By combining their AI assistant with Coda's tools, they're creating a platform that can help users with everything from brainstorming ideas to managing these complex projects.
Wow, it's a really powerful combination.
It is.
They're not just merging technologies, they're shaking up the leadership, too.
Oh, yeah. Coda's CEO is taking over the helm of the newly combined company. It's a pretty clear sign that they're serious about disrupting the productivity market.
Yeah. They're betting big on the idea that AI can totally transform how we work and collaborate. But can the technology keep up with this level of ambition?
That's the million-dollar question, and it leads us perfectly into our next section. The technology behind these amazing AI advancements.
All right, are you ready to get a little bit more technical?
Let's do it. So we've got all this incredible AI innovation happening, but like you said, there's a potential roadblock. The AI data drought. How serious of a problem is this?
Well, those large language models, the ones powering things like ChatGPT?
Yeah.
They're trained on massive amounts of text data. It's like their fuel, but we might be running out of that high-quality text data.
That seems crazy. The internet has endless information. What's the issue?
It's not just any data. Training these powerful AI systems, it requires very specific types of data.
Okay.
Clean, well-written text that's relevant to the task at hand. And as these models get bigger and more sophisticated, their hunger for data, it just grows exponentially.
So even though the internet is this massive ocean of information, the pool of data that's actually usable for AI training is shrinking.
Exactly. And if that well runs dry, AI progress could slow down significantly.
That's a scary thought.
It is a little bit, but the AI community is already brainstorming some creative solutions.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. What kind of solutions are they exploring?
One approach is to generate synthetic data, basically using existing AI models to create new text data that mimics natural human language.
So AI is making data to train more AI.
Kind of a wild concept, right?
It's a little bit mind-boggling.
It is.
Are there any other approaches?
Another is to look beyond the usual sources of data.
Okay.
Things like specialized industry publications, academic papers, even content in multiple languages, expanding the menu for those hungry AI algorithms.
Makes sense. But what about the legal side of things?
Oh, yeah.
We talked about publishers cracking down on AI companies using their content without permission.
Right.
Could that make this data drought even worse?
It's definitely a factor. If data access becomes more restricted, more expensive, it could really slow down AI development, especially for smaller companies, researchers who might not have the deep pockets to, negotiate those data deals.
It could create a sort of AI divide then,
Yeah.
between those who have the data and those who don't. But maybe there's a silver lining to this whole data scarcity problem.
Ooh. I'm intrigued. What's the upside?
It might actually speed up the shift towards smaller, more specialized AI models. Remember, we touched on that earlier.
Instead of building those massive all-purpose language models,
Yeah.
we focus on AI systems that are tailored for specific tasks, industries.
Exactly. There are several advantages to this approach. Smaller models, they don't require as much data to train, so that helps with the scarcity problem.
Right.
They're also a lot more efficient to run, so lower computational costs, less energy consumption, which is always a good thing.
Good for the planet.
Yeah. And here's the really interesting part. These specialized models, they can actually outperform those giant general purpose models in certain cases.
Wait, really? Why would smaller be better?
Because they're trained on a narrower, more focused data set,
Okay.
one that's highly relevant to a specific task, so they can develop this deeper understanding of that particular domain.
Ah, so it's like having an AI expert instead of an AI generalist.
Precisely. And this specialization could lead to breakthroughs in all kinds of fields: healthcare, finance, manufacturing. We could see AI systems that are incredible at diagnosing specific diseases, managing financial portfolios, or even optimizing production processes.
It's almost like the AI landscape is becoming more diverse, just like the natural world. You have your generalists and your specialists all playing a crucial role.
I love that analogy. And if we look at an example like the UAE's Falcon 3 models, you can really see this specialization in action. Remember, we talked about those.
Yeah, the open source family of small language models.
Yeah. What's so special about them? Well, they're specifically designed for efficiency.
Okay.
They can run on less powerful hardware, making them more accessible to developers and businesses that might not have those, massive data centers.
So more affordable and easier to deploy.
Right.
But how do they stack up against those larger models?
You might be surprised to hear that Falcon 3 is punching above its weight class. It's achieving some impressive results in benchmarks for things like reasoning, language understanding, and even code generation.
So they're proving that bigger isn't always better.
Exactly. And the fact that Falcon 3 is open source, it's a real game changer. Anyone can access the code, modify it, use it to build their own AI applications.
That opens up so many possibilities for innovation and collaboration in the AI community.
Right. It democratizes access to this powerful technology. Speaking of democratizing access, what about Nvidia's Jetson Orin Nano Super Developer Kit? This little device is causing quite a buzz.
Yeah, that name's a mouthful, but I have heard good things about it. What makes it so special?
Well, it's incredibly affordable, only $249, but don't let the price tag fool you. It's packed with power.
So affordable and powerful. Who is this supercomputer designed for?
It's perfect for developers, hobbyists, students, anyone who's eager to explore the world of AI.
Yeah.
It can handle everything from robotics and computer vision to natural language processing.
It's like a portable AI lab.
It really is.
It's amazing to think about the possibilities. We could see a whole wave of new AI developers emerge, bringing fresh ideas and perspectives to the field. It's a total game changer.
It is, and it highlights this larger trend that we're seeing, the democratization of AI, both in software and hardware. It's an incredibly exciting time to be part of this field.
I totally agree. But let's circle back to AI safety for a moment. You mentioned that Future of Life Institute report.
Yeah.
What were some of the key concerns they highlighted?
One of the main issues they raised was this lack of transparency. It's often unclear how these models are trained.
Right.
And what safeguards are in place to prevent misuse.
It's like a black box.
Yeah. We don't always know what's going on inside or how they'll behave in unexpected situations.
That definitely makes people nervous, especially as these systems get more powerful. Any other criticisms?
The report also criticized the lack of rigorous safety testing. Right now, there's a heavy reliance on self-regulation in the AI industry, but some experts are arguing that we need legally mandated safety standards.
So similar to regulations we have for other industries like pharmaceuticals.
Exactly.
To make sure that these systems are safe and reliable before they're out in the world.
Makes sense, but even with regulations, there's always a chance that something could go wrong.
Yeah.
What about the potential for AI to cause harm, either accidentally or intentionally?
That's a valid concern. And it's why we need to be having these conversations now before these systems become even more sophisticated. We need to be thinking about those risks and developing strategies to mitigate them.
Absolutely. It's not just about building these cool AI applications.
Right.
It's about the ethical implications, the potential impact on society.
Right, but the bigger picture.
And one of the biggest impacts we need to consider is the potential for job displacement. As AI systems become more capable, they can automate tasks that humans used to do.
Yeah, that could lead to job losses in certain sectors.
Yeah.
It's a worry a lot of people have.
It is. But it's important to remember that AI can also create new jobs and opportunities.
Okay.
We'll need people to design, develop, implement, and maintain these systems. And as the industry grows, we'll see new roles emerge.
Like what?
AI ethicists, data scientists, AI trainers.
Okay, so it's not just about replacing human workers. It's about creating new roles and skills that are essential in this new AI-driven world.
Exactly. And the shift in the workforce, it's going to require investment in education and training to help people adapt to these new demands. We need to make sure that everyone has the chance to benefit from AI, not just a select few.
Right. It's about creating a future where AI enhances our lives, not displaces us.
Well said.
We've covered so much in this deep dive, from business deals to the latest AI products and even the nuts and bolts of the technology behind it all. But before we wrap things up, there's something that's been on my mind.
Oh, I'm curious. What's got you thinking?
Well, we've talked a lot about AI's potential, how it can solve problems, boost productivity, even revolutionize entire industries.
Right.
But there's also this underlying unease about the unintended consequences. What if we create these AI systems that are so powerful that they become impossible to control?
I get it. It's a valid concern, and it's definitely something that a lot of people are thinking about. It's important to have these conversations now while the technology is still relatively young.
Exactly. So how do we navigate that? How do we ensure that AI is used for good and at the same time mitigate the potential risks?
Well, it's not an easy question to answer. But I think it starts with acknowledging that AI isn't this neutral force.
Okay.
It's shaped by the values and intentions of the people who create it and those who use it.
So we need to be more mindful of the ethical implications of AI development.
Absolutely. It's not enough to just focus on making these systems more powerful or efficient.
Right.
We need to bake ethical considerations into the very foundation of AI design.
That makes sense, but how do we actually do that? What does ethical AI design look like in practice?
For a start, we need more transparency in how these systems are trained. Remember those black boxes we talked about? We need to pry them open, shed light on the data that's being used and the decision-making processes that are happening inside those systems.
Transparency is key. It builds trust, and allows for better accountability. What else?
We also need to develop reliable mechanisms for identifying and dealing with bias in these systems. Remember, AI, it's trained on data that reflects the real world.
Right.
And if that data contains biases, well, the AI is going to inherit those biases, which could lead to all sorts of issues.
So if we want AI that's fair and equitable, the data we're using needs to be fair and equitable as well.
Precisely. And that's where having diversity in the AI workforce is crucial. We need people from all walks of life, different backgrounds, cultures, perspectives involved in building these systems. A more diverse team is going to be more likely to spot those potential biases and make sure that AI benefits everyone, not just a select group.
Diversity of thought leads to more robust AI. But even with the best intentions, mistakes happen. What about the potential for actual harm?
That's where regulation and oversight come in.
Okay.
We need clear guidelines and standards for developing and deploying AI, especially in those high-stakes areas like healthcare or transportation. It's similar to how we regulate other industries like pharmaceuticals or aviation.
So it's about putting those safeguards in place to minimize the risks.
Exactly. And I think we're going to see more and more calls for regulation as AI becomes more powerful and more deeply integrated into our everyday lives.
It's a tough balancing act,
Yeah.
Fostering innovation, but also protecting people from potential harm.
It is. And it's not just about regulations either. It's about education. It's about public engagement. We need to help people understand how AI works, its potential benefits, but also its limitations.
Right. The more people understand about AI, the better equipped they'll be to participate in shaping its future. It's not just a conversation for the techies, it's a conversation for everyone.
I completely agree. We need policymakers, researchers, industry leaders, the public, all working together to navigate this uncharted territory.
We're all on this AI journey together, figuring it out as we go. A little bit daunting, but also really exciting.
I agree. Who knows what amazing breakthroughs and applications are just around the corner.
I can't wait to see what the future holds. That about wraps up this week's deep dive into the world of AI. We've explored the business side, the new products, the technology, and even some of those ethical considerations that we all need to keep in mind as AI continues to evolve. It's been quite a journey, but hopefully you've come away with a better understanding of this incredible field.
And don't forget, if you're thinking about applying AI to your business, reach out to Shellpluck AI Technology Consulting. They are the experts at helping companies navigate the complexities of AI and achieve their goals.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, please give the video a like and subscribe to our channel for more AI insights. We'll be back next week with another episode of the AI Compass.